Hi, Akshali. This question's posed to you. When you talk of cheese and milk products, I still feel the kind of brand and a variety of cheese which is available in the international market is far superior. The flavors are much better as compared to the Indian market. You said you're investing in technology and a lot of variants of cheese you're making in, but why is this still a vast difference in available products today for the consumers?
Okay, I agree with you. Can I have your name, please?
I'm Anushri. I work for
Okay.
IRCTC.
Yeah,
Hi.
I agree with you, Anushri. Like, there's a vast difference between the Western country and the Indian country. The Indian consumers are still learning कि okay, pizza में mozzarella cheese जाता है, for cheddar cheeses for sandwiches and basic. So they're still learning. So there needs to be a lot of education needs to be given to the Indian consumers, how to use which cheese and where to use this cheese. I think we've come up with a lot of flavors. So we have cheese like chocolate cheese. So we've come up with tomato salsa cheese, we've come up with pepper cheese and peanut cheese. So we have come up with a lot of flavored cheese. So you will see these, those squeezy tubes for kids with the cartoon character where it has a chocolate cheese. I have
what
a picture.
What are your target let's say if I go to a Big Bazaar today or Reliance Fresh Mart, do I get these kind of your brand cheese available?
Yes, it's available pan-India. So we are there present. The milk is all over, the UHT milk, that is the Tetra Pak milk. We will find it everywhere. But cheese, we are focusing only metro cities. So right now we are in almost top 20 cities of India. And we are very strong in Gujarat and Maharashtra. So we are slowly expanding towards the north. So very soon, I'm very sure you'll get to eat goat cheese flavored chocolate cheese.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Great, we look forward to it. Any more questions from the audience? Please.
Yeah, it's not a question, actually a compliment for Aradhana. Actually, what you mentioned was there shouldn't be a separate session for the women entrepreneurs. So kudos to you for that. So maybe a round of applause for Aradhana for this. Yeah.
Hello. Yeah, my name is Harshal. This question is for Akshali. Akshali, you mentioned another brand, Pride of Cow, and that probably is the premium quality milk. Now, milk in itself is a habit-driven product. You wake up early in the morning and boil it and use it. So that's a very, very habit-driven product. What was that specific strategy to find out people who will actually buy into that kind of a premium milk? I mean, how did you reach to those consumers?
Okay, a lot of research was done. A lot of research was done before I started this brand. So we found out where the industrialists stay, where is the Bollywood sitting, who will buy, where are the cricketers, what sort of people, health-conscious people will buy such products. So initially, there is this area called South Bombay, which has almost 70% of the industrialists of India staying there. So we started with only that area, where a lot of big CEOs, CMOs who are staying there. So we did a lot of research on that, on the pricing strategy and how it will be accepted and what sort of, people, what service do they want for this milk. Okay, agar morning they want it at 6 o'clock, the delivery man will come there and ring the bell and give it to you at 6 o'clock. If you want it at 6:30, the delivery man will come and give it to you at 6:30. And even the quality of the milk is such, it's so superior that people want to pay 80 rupees. So it's not like, okay, I am only targeting HNIs. It's also I'm targeting everybody. So even a woman who is pregnant and she thinks this is going to be good for her baby, she drinks it. It's not like I'm targeting some sort of anybody who is health conscious and is looking for something quality product, I am giving this milk to them. And it's only by invitation. So if you call me and tell me, okay, I want this milk, we will not give it to you. So you will have to be recommended by one of our customers, okay, ye meri friend hai, usko try karna hai, can you supply her milk as well? So I have a lot of HNI customers, I have a lot of normal customers, I have a lot of mothers, I have a lot of kids who are drinking this milk.
Great, thanks.
A few of my HNIs I would just like to say is, Aishwarya's daughter is Aradhana. Then I have Prahlad Kakkad who was here yesterday. And then I have Sachin Tendulkar, I have Dhirubhai Ambani who are drinking this milk.
Yeah, Akshali, it's for you. May I know what is the source of your milk? Where do you get it from? Do you have your own cows? Do you have own farms and all? Or you
Yeah.
outsource it from the farmers itself?
Okay, so Govardhan, Parag as a company, we take around 10 millions per, like 10 lakh liters per day. Okay, that is 1 million per day. And Pride of Cows, the 80 rupees one, we have our own cows. So we have our own Holstein Friesian, we have 5,000 cows. They are kept in a more 5-star treatment. Their mats are, their beds are being imported from Germany. They have provided a la carte menu to their food. So they have been taken care in a lot of way. So they give, we believe that happy cows give better milk. They listen to radio as well, by the way.
Yeah,
So
actually,
we-
there's a research.
Yeah, there's a
if there is
research.
a good music for the cows, they
Yeah,
give
if
a
you play
better
good
milk.
music, they tend to give you better quality of milk. Basically, happy cows give, just like us, when we are happy, we give the best. Just like that, when they are happy, they give the best.
Thank you.
Yeah, hi, my name is Nandita, and my question is all three of you. When we speak about entrepreneurship or, anyway working, a basic difference between a man and woman is that women are more emotional by nature. So do you feel it's an inevitable truth, whatever we say, whatever we do you feel it can be a hindrance? Do you find that yourself being more emotional, that's the one reason why you will be thinking so much about your craftsman? Because you think emotionally, not just rationally. You want all your employees to be more happy. You want to have a much more happy environment and approach. So do you think when you think in, a true sense of business, is it a hindrance in long term or it is an added advantage?
Can I have your name, please?
My name is Nandita.
Okay, Nandita, I don't think being emotional is a hindrance at all. Being over emotional is a hindrance. So you can't, and you need to be practical and emotional at the same point of time. But if you're concerned about an A person or your employee, I think it's a great thing. So you call that emotional or you call that being a typical woman. But I think if being a woman makes you more compatible with people and makes you more understanding towards people who are actually the workforce behind your success, I think it works totally for you. Of course, the other side of being emotional is that, of course, if you take emotional decisions in business, that is not right. So that needs to be practical. You cannot, because I'm emotional towards an A employee, I would hire that person. That shouldn't be the case. But having a human ground, I would not call this being emotional actually. I will call this having a humane ground towards the people who are employed for you. If she can think about cows, we can think about human beings, right? So I think that is a more important thing. What do you say?
Absolutely. So I'll add to that. Emotion is happiness, sadness, anger, ego, all are emotions. And it isn't to say that men don't have an equal amount or excess amount of perhaps the anger and ego as well. And I would say that women are required in the workforce to balance it out, not to say that I'm not at all propagating that women aren't angry or egoistic, but I think the government of India has recognized the value that a woman brings, and therefore now the New Companies Act mandates every company to have at least one woman director on its board. And I can't imagine what our company would have been like if it wasn't for the 7. In fact, we have sort of a gender bias in our company towards women. So the men feel sort of intimidated when they walk in because there are just so many women who can think and do things which perhaps a man wouldn't be able to, and vice versa. I wouldn't at all think along those lines, and no woman should hold herself back because of her gender.
Yeah, thank you. No, the basic essence of my question was, you must have heard, some time back, a woman like even Indra Nooyi. So we have, as you said, being a man, you might not be so concerned about, or you can say you will be concerned, but it will not stop you if your child you feel is cranky. Child is not very sick, but you are going for a meeting and you see that your boy or girl who is crying and crying, so it somewhere come at the back of the mind. I'm lucky I have grown up kids, so when I started my business, so I don't have to worry. And but then when I see quite a lot of, because I have a workforce where 95% of my people who are working with me are women. So at time you feel that they can or they have this tendency to carry some time. You know, you have to be more considerating to them. And this is being emotional. Being a woman, you'll feel okay. You have something, but you need that person has to go. You will let them go. So that's what I mean by being emotional.
You're absolutely right. And women don't have a heart of stone, and I think that's what makes them more humane. And we do need a more humane corporate world. We need a more humane world in general. So I would see that as a positive and not.
And I think the act of balancing that you've been talking about, I think that is what entrepreneurship is all about. So I completely feel that women are stronger entrepreneurs. If you can manage family, you can make sure that your kid is happy, your husband is happy, your father is happy, your maid is okay, she's not run away, your workers are fine. I think women are better entrepreneurs, and Aradhana is right. You don't need separate sessions which are focused on women, because yes, women have become a very, very vital part of not only corporate environments, but if you generically see, they have become very important, and they need to. And it's also to do with your vision. If you and I think small and think small about ourselves, how will we grow? And how do you expect men to look up to you and say, yeah, okay, I'm proud of you, or whatever, if I'm thinking small or you're thinking small? And I think being emotional, having all kind of thoughts for different people in your lives and outside your lives is a great thing. So I think that adds to who we are. I don't think that is against of who we are.
Hi, I'd like to direct and share an understanding with Akshali. Akshali, sometime back, my father had taken up the distributorship of Nova brand of dairy products. Now, incidentally, we were distributing 3 gram and 5 gram milk sachets, which are used in hotel and hospitality industry for making tea, coffee, etc. So, you know the nature of the product. Now, I, being a media research student, had a keen eye on what goes into that industry, and I was following up with my sales people. You mentioned that there is a need to educate the B2C consumer, because that's the kind of clientele you're dealing with. What I'd like to share is that I felt that there is an immense need to even educate the business-to-business consumer who's actually sitting at the end client's office, be it a hotel, a 5-star hotel or a hospital. The procurement guy is still a very brand-driven person. So if a Nestle is selling, you're very right in saying if it is international, it'll sell. If a Nestle is selling, or if any other country's brand is selling, the want and the desire to have that brand is so brand-centric and so fast. You know, they don't give us 15 minutes of their precious time to basically help us understand the technicalities, the chemistry of the product as to why it is better. So what I'd like to discuss with you and understand is where is the business to business understanding going as far as the end client is concerned?
First of all, you have a totally valid point that even there needs to be a education given from B2B. So there, we have, sessions like where chefs come in and then they show their recipes and we show them how to use this product. I will really take this up with you outside the panel session and discuss with you one-on-one. And what's your name?
My name is Vibha. And currently I'm in fact running a digital media agency, and I've actually founded a program to do this.
Okay.
So I'll discuss it with you later.
Definitely. Yeah. I'll be on the floor.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, audience. You can take the rest of the questions with our speakers later. I would like to conclude it with a parting note from each one of you.
All I want to say is for each one of us in the audience, just believe in yourself and take one day at a time and go with the flow. It'll all fall in place. And each one of us, if we're sitting on the cusp of entrepreneurship, and that's why we're attending this conference, it's amazing to be an entrepreneur. The self-development, the journey that you go on yourself, there's nothing else like it. And of course, the fact that you're creating an institution which is providing an opportunity for employment and development for so many hundreds of others is excellent. So we need more and more entrepreneurs out there. So for everybody sitting in this room who has any aspirations, please go out there and pursue them right away.
I'd just like to say that being a woman in India is being an entrepreneur. So I think for all women entrepreneurs here, I think all of us should believe in our vision. We should believe in who we are. And for the all men sitting here, please, rather than demeaning your better halves or women around you and mocking at their aspirations, I think you should be proud of who they are, and you should push them further to be able to achieve what they want to, because I feel Indian women have the nature where they look up to their father or their husbands, and I think that one push can actually change the course of their lives. So yeah, I think that's what I would want to say.
I would just like to tell everyone that world is moving towards mediocrity. So, so just work hard, and part of it will be luck for y'all. And just focus that on your work. Don't focus that you're a woman. That's what I would like to say to all the entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs there. And another advice that my dad keeps giving me is, you know, as your business evolves, transform yourself and keep up with the way the world is growing. And that's how you will be an entrepreneur for life. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.